around for a while.
We still have some wind advisories that will continue into tomorrow. The reason why is because the wind will continue into tomorrow as well. I think we'll get a little bit of a break from some of the peak intensities that we had across the region today. And here's a little sample of that. It happened right around 10 or 11 o'clock this morning, but it really showed off our wind-prone areas around Southern California, our wind tunnels, if you will. And one of the wind tunnels is across the Inland Empire coming out of the Cajon Pass. Now, any spot that you see a triangle, but you don't see a number like right here to the east of San Bernardino, that's because the wind gusts were pretty low. So that shows you how narrow some of these wind tunnels are. But we had wind gusts in the 40 to 50 mile per hour range coming right out of the pass. This went all the way down south as you worked your way to Corona. But you can see if you're in the Chino area, the winds are relatively light around 11 o'clock in the morning. This is not the only pass that we have the winds coming out of. We also get the winds coming out of the Banning Pass. You can see we had wind gusts in the 40 to 55 mile per hour range earlier. And that went all the way out again to the Santa Ana Mountains. And then across the LA and Ventura County Valley locations and some of the foothill spots, we managed to also get some pretty good winds. You can see around the Newhall Pass, for example, nearly 45 to 50 mile per hour wind gusts. And we had this extending all the way out to the Ventura County coastline. And this is what really drove the warming temperatures today across the area. Our classic Santa Ana winds, that warming wind and a drying wind, which is why we had such low humidity today. Now, as we go into tomorrow, this is what it looks like by midnight. We still have some of this offshore wind. So if you're in any of our wind prone spots, you might still hear the wind this evening. But I have a feeling for tomorrow, we'll be watching for the winds to peak again right around 10 or 11 o'clock. But you can see these wind gusts are not nearly as intense as what we had today. Still 20 to 30 mile per hour gusts, just not bumping up into that 40 to 50 mile per hour range. And then getting into the afternoon for tomorrow, all the winds start to switch direction again. And now we've got an onshore breeze that is a cooling breeze, and that also brings in some nice moist air off the Pacific. And then all the winds will start to shut down as we get into the overnight hours. And I think we're essentially done with this offshore wind. As we head into Sunday, we'll have, again, another little pulse of an onshore breeze getting into the afternoon. So for tomorrow, it's still going to be warm across the region. We're expecting to get to the mid 80s around downtown LA, 87 degrees in Riverside, 82 Thousand Oaks. Still very warm by the coastline because we still have that offshore wind. But the 7-day forecast shows that we do have additional changes coming our way. Basins on top, coastlines down below. High pressure over the weekend is going to keep us warm. Then next week we start to gradually cool down as that high pressure moves away. And there's a chance we might get some rain around Thursday or Friday. We're still trying to work out exactly when it starts, how much we're looking at, and if it's going to be across both days. So we'll have much more on that as we get closer to that portion of the week. Valleys on top, i.e. forecast down below. Warm for the weekend, mid to upper 80s. Gradual cooling next week, and then those chances of rain potentially coming our way as we get toward the end of the week. High desert on top, low desert forecast down below. For the high desert, we're actually going to see our temperatures peak right around the start of the week. Then we start to cool down for the second half of the week. And same for the area mountains. You'll see temperatures in the upper 50s tomorrow. Then we jump into the mid 60s for a couple of days, only starting to cool back down into the 50s as we have the changes approaching by the end of the week.